Welcome back to the Rundown Lab, where we break down and fact check the biggest health podcasts. We know your time is valuable, but when you can, we always recommend catching the full episode. Links are in the description. What if one of the simplest exercises you could do, no gym required, could actually reshape your brain, protect your joints, and add years to your life? That's a big promise. So let's see how the science holds up. In a recent video titled, "This happens when you do 25 squats twice a day," the host made a compelling case for why this basic movement deserves more attention, covering everything from muscle physiology to brain development. With 20 claims to examine, this one turned out to be remarkably well researched. Let's start with what the video got right, and there's quite a lot here. The foundational claim that muscle mass becomes a determining factor in both quality of life and longevity as you age is solidly supported by research. A 2014 study in the American Journal of Medicine found that muscle mass index was significantly associated with mortality risk, and multiple large-scale studies confirm that maintaining muscle mass improves functional independence, reduces fall risk, and correlates with longer survival. The explanation of how muscles and the brain communicate was spot on. Motor neurons carry commands from brain to muscle, while sensory neurons simultaneously relay information back from proprioceptors. This bidirectional communication is fundamental to how we move and maintain balance. The video's claims about brain energy usage were accurate. The brain really does represent about 2% of body mass, while consuming 20 to 25% of the body's energy. And the statement that muscles are the largest user of glucose in your body is correct. Skeletal muscle handles roughly 70 to 80% of insulin-stimulated glucose uptake after meals. Particularly impressive was the accurate description of how working muscles can accept glucose without insulin through contraction-activated pathways. This is a well-established mechanism that explains why exercise is so effective for blood sugar control. The information about joint health was also accurate. Articular cartilage truly is avascular. It has no blood supply, and depends on the pumping action of movement to receive nutrients through the surrounding synovial fluid. And the claim that falls are the leading cause of traumatic death in elderly populations is supported by CDC data. Now, where things get a bit more complicated, the video mentioned the brain having 100 billion neurons, which was the accepted figure for years, but a 2009 study by Azevedo and colleagues updated this to approximately 86 billion. Not a huge difference, but worth noting for accuracy. The claim about processing billions of bits per second, while only being aware of thousands, captures a real phenomenon, but the numbers are debated. Research suggests we receive roughly 10 to 11 million bits of sensory information per second, while conscious awareness handles somewhere between 40 and a few hundred bits per second. The principle is correct. Unconscious processing vastly exceeds conscious awareness, but billions likely overstates it. When discussing age-related decline, the video suggested degeneration accelerates after 40. Research actually shows the more significant acceleration happens after 50 to 60 for most people. Though the encouraging news is that resistance training can substantially slow or even reverse muscle loss at any age. There was also a slight technical imprecision about muscle sensors. The video attributed tension sensing to muscle spindles, but muscle spindles primarily detect length and stretch rate. It's actually the Golgi tendon organs that sense tension. A small point, but relevant for those interested in the details. The claim that adductors are primary movers in squats is close, but not quite standard terminology. Biomechanics typically classifies them as synergists, though they do contribute significantly, especially in wider stances. Looking at this video overall, I have to say it's refreshingly well researched. Of 20 claims examined, 12 were fully accurate, 5 were mostly accurate with minor imprecisions, and only 3 were oversimplified. None were misleading or false. The core message is sound. Squats are an excellent compound movement that benefits muscles, joints, brain health, and metabolic function. The specific number of 18 muscle groups may be approximate, but the squat genuinely is a comprehensive, full-body exercise. The timelines given for seeing results, neural adaptations first, then muscle growth, align well with exercise science research. The bottom line? This is solid health information presented accessibly. The minor numerical imprecisions don't undermine the practical takeaways. If you're looking for a simple, equipment-free way to build strength, protect your joints, and support healthy aging, the evidence really does suggest that regular squatting is a worthwhile habit.